The secret doctrine of the Rosarians. What is known as the secret doctrine of the Rosarians is an extensive body of esoteric teachings and occult lore which has been transmitted from master to student. You mean from sponsor to sponsee? Go fuck yourselves. From Hierophant to the new initiate. The newbie? Wow, y'all are fucking stupid for countless generations. A generational curse. Previous to that time, the little that was written or printed concerning this body of teachings was disguised in the vague terms of alchemy and astrology, which is in Quadrivium. No shit. So as the same would have one meaning to the average reader and another and closer meaning to those who process the key to the mystery. The frequent references in the ancient books to sulfur, mercury, and other chemical elements to and to the philosopher's stone, etc., were all intended to indicate certain portions of the teachings of the secret doctrine to those who already processed the key. Trust the process, right? Yeah, I'm fucking breaking that shit apart now. The secret doctrine of Rosarians is believed by the best informed to have been built up gradually, carefully, and slowly by the old occult masters and adepts from the scattered fragments of the esoteric teachings which were treasured by the wise men of all races. The legend runs that these fragments of the secret doctrine were the sacred portions of the old esoteric teachings of ancient Atlantis. Now we're getting into what I've been telling you. These bits of the great mass of the Atlantean occult teachings, which were scattered in all directions by the great cataclysm, which had destroyed the great continent, the few survivors of the Atlantean civilization carefully preserved these fragments of truth and passed them on to their chosen students and capable descendants, the ones who gave their ass up for it. Fuck it, don't work like that no more. The old masters who made it the object of their lives to gather together once more the sacred fragments to thus reconstruct the occult doctrine of the Atlanteans found a portion of their material in Egypt, which there's a lot of that. And this one right here. And you'll find more of that in this, the symbolism of Freemasonry. Why the fuck do I need you? Where was that? Okay. In India, in Persia, in Chaldea, I'm not sure. In Medka, in China, in Assyria, and in ancient Greece, and also in the ancient mystic records of the Hebrews, on that, such as the Kabbalah and the Zohar. The common source, however, may be regarded as distinctly Oriental. The great philosophies of the East, in fact, may be said to have been built upon the base of these still more ancient teachings. Moreover, the great Grecian secret teachings are believed to have been based upon knowledge obtained from the same cosmic source. So at the last, the secret doctrine of the Rosarians may be said to be the secret doctrine of Atlantis. transmitted through the descendants of the people of the great center of occult knowledge. The following quotation from a writer who himself is gathered together by bits of the ancient wisdom may be interesting. Speaking of these ancient teachings, he says, the teaching has come down to the present age through the corridors of time, from the dim ages of past eras, races, and schools of thought. Even those highest in the ancient occult councils, however, are unable to trace the teachings in an unbroken direct line further back than the time of Pythagoras, about 500 BC, and a little later in ancient Greece, although they find many references thereto and extracts therefrom in some of the older records of ancient Egypt and Chaldea, which serve to show that the schools of Pythagoras and other ancient Grecian occultists were found on occult instruction, still more remote, received in a direct line of a succession of teachings and pupils extended over centuries. Investigators have found traces of the teachings in the records of Persia and Media, and it is believed that the inspiration for the original philosophical teachings of Gautama and the founder of Buddhism was received from the same source. Traces are also found in the Hebrew esoteric teachings. Now, you understand that just gave everything away I've been telling you. Ancient Aliens is Alcoholics Anonymous because they think they're the shit. The writer continues. The Grecian teachings were undoubtedly obtained directly through Egyptian sources through Pythagoras. The relation between the early Grecian teachings and philosophers and the older school of Old Egypt being very close to intimate. Pythagoras is known to have received instruction from Egypt and Persian Hicropants. Not sure how to say that. There is to be found the closest resemblance between the ancient Grecian teachings and those of the Egyptian esoteric fraternities. Some of the teachers, however, hold that the Grecian and Egyptian schools, respectively, were but two separate offshoots of an original and older teaching which had the origin of the lost continent of Atlantis. Okay, hold on. Like two, right? And then that's a telltale sign of what that really is all about, right? And that is, oh, where did I put it? Not that one. That one is, there you go. That one is the Lost Keys of Freemasonry. See the two pillars? No shit. Offshoots, two pillars, excuse me, of the original older teachings which had origin in the lost continents of Atlantis. There are many traditions concerning the teaching with Atlantis, and it is possible that both Greece and Egypt received it from the common source. Instead of Greece being indebted to Egypt for the line of transmission, but be this as it may, it is a fact that all of the traces of teaching that the various occultists gather from the tradition. That's 12 traditions, right? Go fuck yourself. Scraps of doctrine and legendary regarding Atlantis could be reconciled with the best esoteric and occult knowledge had by the race today. The fragments of the Egyptian esoteric teachings, many of which are still preserved in an undoubted directional line of succession. Dude, you understand that I broke that line down, right? If you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, it literally tells you to find the straight line from the three pyramids of Egypt and walk it. You'll come to the gates where you have to say 3 times the passwords because they test you. But okay, we'll keep going. Are practically identical in fundamental and basis points. But the Grecian occult teachings, and as has been said, the Persian, Median, Media's family reunion, Median, get it? They're giving you hints everywhere, people. And Chaldean legends and traditions and scraps of teachings which have been preserved show a common source or origin with those Egypt and ancient Greece. The writer adds, we are speaking now of the historical view of the subject only. The occult traditions hold that the teachings, in some form, is as old as the race itself. Meaning, wait, did I just prove fuck your traditions? Wow. They're as old as race itself, so fuck them, they're worthless. Wow, that was so easy. And has been known to the advanced minds of every great civilization for the past many, of which disappeared thousands of years ago, all traces of them having been lost to the present subrace. The traditions hold that the teaching was handed down from the elder brethren to the race certain advanced souls who appeared in the earlier days in order to plant the seeds of truth so that they would grow, blossom, and bear fruit throughout the ages to follow. We do not ask you to accept this statement, and it is not material, for the teaching bears evidence of its own truth within itself. Without needing the force of such high authority, the ancient tradition is mentioned merely that the student may know that the same is accepted as truth by many of the highest occult authorities and teachers. Wow, did you see how easy that was to prove your whole fucking hierarchy that I've been saying my whole fucking life is fucking bullshit? Your pyramid scheme is bullshit. And I literally proved it through this. It's fucking dead.